Hello students, welcome to today's lecture on data structures. In our previous class, we have discussed about uh, how to represent sparse matrices using linked representation. Today, we'll focus on another important application of linked lists, that is polynomials. We will learn today about how to represent a polynomial, and then how to add two polynomials. Okay. So, what is a polynomial? We all know that a polynomial is a mathematical expression which is in the form of an x power n plus an minus 1 x power n minus 1 plus an minus 2 x power n minus 2 and so on plus a0 x power 0. Here a0, a1, so on an are the coefficients and powers are the exponents. X is any general term used for representing a polynomial. We can ignore it. Okay. So what is the problem of representing this polynomial with the help of arrays? Arrays are not suitable for representing polynomials since in any polynomial there may be some terms left out. For example, if you consider 4x power 10 plus 3x plus 1, 4x power 10 uh, is the exponent 10, and then there are no terms related to power 9, power 8, power 7, power 6, power 5, power 4 and so on. So if it is a sparse polynomial, then array representation will be inefficient. So there will be a lot of wastage in memory. So array representation will be useful only for the non-sparse polynomials. That means if a polynomial has every term that is possible from the highest exponent to the least exponent 0, okay, then array representation will be useful. Otherwise, for sparse polynomials, array representation will be inefficient because of wastage of memory. Okay, so let us understand how the polynomials will be represented with the help of linked list. So I am considering two linked lists here. First one is polynomial 1. Two polynomials I am considering. First one is polynomial 1 p1 and the second one is polynomial 2 p2, in which I have the first polynomial contains 5 terms. The second polynomial contains 4 terms. Okay. So now, how these polynomials are represented in the form of a linked list. So if you look at the node structure of a linked list representation of polynomial, it contains 3 fields. The first field refers to the coefficient of a term, and the second field refers to the exponent of a term. The third field refers to a pointer to the next node. So what we do is, for every term in the polynomial, let us say 23x power 9, we construct a node and we put the information of coefficient and exponent into the node. Then we link that node to the next node, which contains the information about the second term, that is coefficient of second term and exponent of second term, and so on. If there is no next node, next term here, then you will simply link it to a null pointer. So this represents null pointer. Okay. And the second polynomial also 4x6. So coefficient is 4, exponent is 6. Then 10x4. So coefficient is 10, exponent is 4. 12x power 1, coefficient is 12, exponent is 1. 8x power 0, if there is nothing means it means x power 0. Therefore 8 exponent is 0 and it is linked to null. Okay. So this is how it is actually represented. Theoretically, I am showing it for the understanding purpose. And if you look at the advantages of using linked list, you can see Even if it is a sparse polynomial, we don't bother. Even if there is some term missing, because we are creating a node only for the terms available in the polynomial, there is no wastage of memory here. So that is the biggest advantage with the polynomial, uh, if it is implemented with the help of linked list. Okay. So now, once the polynomial is properly represented, to add any two polynomials, you need to handle three cases. First case is if the exponent of first polynomial is greater than exponent of second polynomial, then what we do is we simply add the term from first polynomial to the end of the original, that is the result P3. So assuming that P3 is the resultant polynomial of addition of polynomial 1 and polynomial 2, we simply add the term from polynomial 1 to the end of polynomial 3, the result polynomial. Okay. And the second case is if the exponent of polynomial 1 is less than exponent of polynomial 2, then because this is having the higher exponent, we simply copy that information of node and we add it to the end of result polynomial P3. Okay. And the third case is if the exponents are equal, then what we do is we add up the coefficients, and that new node, we put that information into the new node, and this new node will be added to the end of the result polynomial P3. So we need to handle these three cases in order to add given two polynomials using linked representation. Okay, so this is a general mathematical expression showing the polynomial with variable x, am minus 1 x power em minus 1. This am minus 1 is the coefficient, e power m minus 1 is the exponent, and so on. The last term is going to be a naught x power e0. Okay, probably a polynomial can be represented mathematically like this. You can use any general terminology for representing this polynomial, but what you need to understand is every term, polynomial is a collection of terms, and every term has the information about what is the coefficient in the term and what is the exponent in the term. We don't bother about the variable we use, we can ignore it simply, that information is not required. So what we need to store is the information about what is the coefficient of each term and exponent of each term. Okay, so therefore the node, every term refers to a node in linked list. Therefore the node structure contains uh, a coefficient field, exponent field, and a pointer to the next node. Okay, so uh, every term has information about exponent and coefficient, and you need to link all the terms one by one, and at the end the last term is pointing to null. Okay, so this is the general structure of a polynomial node, which contains three fields. One is coefficient, the second one is exponent, and a next pointer. Okay, and please observe this. I'm using this type def to redefine this entire thing, struct polynomial polynode star as a polypointer. So from now onwards, I will make use of this polyptr to create a new node. Okay. Now let us understand the cases of this polynomial addition. Assume that I am considering two polynomials. Let us say a is equal to 3x power 14 plus 2x power 8 plus 1. This is the first polynomial. And b is equal to 8x power 14 minus 3x power 10 plus 10x power 6. This is the second polynomial. And you can see the theoretical view of linked list representation of both these polynomials. Okay, so this has 3 and 14 in the first term, 2 and 8 in the second term, 1 and 0 in the third term, and it is linked to null. And this one has 8 and 14, minus 3 and 10. You need to write the coefficients magnitude also. So minus 3, negative or positive, you need to write, and 10. And the last term is 10 and 6 connected to null. Okay, so these are the two polynomials I'm assuming. Now we know that we need to handle three cases. Let us observe the first case. The first case is say if the exponents are equal in the terms. So if you observe this, 3x power 14, 8x power 14, that means exponents are equal in this case. Then what we do is we add up the coefficients, that is 3 plus 8 is equal to 11, and 14 comes as it is. Okay, so 3x power 14 plus 8x power 14 is going to be 11x power 14. That is what it is. So we add that sum into the new node, and the exponent will be as it is. Okay, and this is the new node we construct, and uh, we continue the remaining process of adding the polynomials. So this is case 1. Okay, and if you observe case 2, comparing these two nodes, 28 minus 310, if you observe, the exponent of the first polynomial is lesser than exponent of the second polynomial. Then what we do is the greater exponent term will be added to the new polynomials. That is, greater exponent is 10 among these two. Therefore, minus 310 will be added to the new polynomial. Okay. Then third case is if exponent of first polynomial is greater than exponent of second polynomial. So in this case, 2, 8, and 10 and 6, this is greater. So we simply add this term to the result polynomial and move forward. Okay, so these are the three possible cases we are going to handle while adding two polynomials. So this I have already explained. This is the node structure. Now let us see the implementation part in C language. So I'm creating a new function here, create poly, for creating the polynomials. Okay, so for creating a polynomial, what we do is uh, we use a loop which is infinite until user says there are no more terms in the polynomial. And in each iteration, what we do is we create a node by using that malloc function. P is equal to polyptr malloc size of struct polynode. So this will create a single node with name P. Then we read the information about coefficient and exponent. Okay, so enter, we ask the user to enter the coefficient and put it inside this node by using scanf percentile d ampersand p coefficient, and then ask the user to enter the exponent and put it inside the node p-exp. So once this is received from the user and the node is created, anyhow the node is going to be the last node in the polynomial, we simply uh, put this next pointer as null. Okay, and once this first node is created, we check whether there are already some terms added to the polynomial or not by using this condition. If start is equal to null, it means there are no nodes available in the polynomial. Therefore, let us make this polynomial, this term p, as the starting term. Okay, so start is equal to p. Otherwise, if there are some terms already present in the polynomial, then what we need to do is you reach the end of the polynomial by using this while loop, which takes a temporary pointer tmp, begins at start, while temp next not equal to null, temp is equal to temp next. This loop ensures that you reach the end node, the last node, and then simply attach this p uh, to that last node. Temp next is equal to p. So two cases. If there are no nodes in the linked list, then make this node as the start node. Otherwise, simply add the node at the end. So this is simply uh, a singly linked list operation we insert at the end. Okay, so the same process we follow for creating a polynomial. And because we are using a while loop with ch as the control variable, while ch, which is initially 1, 1 means true. So while 1 we are saying, therefore there must be some termination point uh, to stop the loop. So that is why we are asking now more nodes to be added, and we are asking the user either to select either 1 or 0. So if he enters 1, it goes back and the loop will be repeated, because while true, 1 means true, and the same process will be repeated. Second node will be created, again it will be added. Third node will be created, again it will be added. And this process will be repeated until user enters 0 here. When this question is seen, more nodes to be added. If user enters 0, then the loop stops. And it returns the corresponding polynomial pointed by start. Okay. So assuming that there are 3 nodes, 3 terms in the polynomial, the loop will be repeated for 3 times, and the polynomial return will be like this. Okay. And call this function for each polynomial that you want to create, and you can display the polynomial by using this display function. It is simply uh, displaying a single linked list. There is nothing inside it. So while list not equal to null, and this is representing it as coefficient x power exponent. For that, I'm using this syntax: percentile d x, cap symbol represents exponent, followed by percentile d, and I'm putting this plus symbol to add the other terms. Okay, and if list next not equal to null, a plus symbol is required. Otherwise, because that is the last node, you don't need to put that plus symbol over here. That is why I'm differentiating between these two cases. If list next not equal to null, then you keep a plus as a separation between terms. If it is the last term, then don't put that plus over here. Okay. And while list not equal to null, we simply display the corresponding information of the pointer, and then we move forward. List is equal to list next. Okay, this is simply the display function we used in singly linked list, except that there is some custom representation we used here in printf. Okay, now let us write the function for adding two polynomials. Assume that the first polynomial name is f and the second polynomial name is s, and also assume that f is already created, s is already created by using that create poly. Okay, so I'm getting these two as parameters to this function. Right, now initially I'm taking temporary variables capital A and capital B, and using that capital A and capital B to point to these two polynomials f and s. So a is equal to star f, b is equal to star s. A is pointing to the first polynomial, b is pointing to the second polynomial, and result is the polynomial that I'm going to generate by adding a and b. Okay, initially I'm declaring it as null, c is equal to null. Okay, so the condition is while a not equal to null and b not equal to null. That means if both the polynomials a and b have terms to be added, this condition means that if both the polynomials a and b have terms to be added, then you need to perform these operations. What we are doing is we are using a switch case to identify the cases. We know that we need to handle 3 cases for adding up 2 polynomials. So I'm using a switch for handling each of the cases. So switch off, compare A exponent, B exponent, because the 3 cases that we need to handle is based on the exponent of the terms. I'm comparing the exponent of first polynomial, that is the pointer a is pointing to the first polynomial, pointer b is pointing to the second polynomial. So I'll take a exponent and b exponent for comparison. Compare function is also a user defined function, which is written like this: if the polynomial exponents, that is x is a exponent of a, y is exponent of b, so if they are same, then it returns 0. If the exponent of the term in first polynomial is less than the term in second polynomial, then it returns -1. If the exponent of uh, term in polynomial is greater than exponent of term in second polynomial, then it returns 1. So we make use of this function and we call that function to handle the cases. So you will get either 1 or -1 or 0 from this function compare. Case 1 means that exponent of a is greater than exponent of b, right? Case 1 means that exponent of a is greater than, see this, exponent of a is greater than exponent of b, then we return 1. Therefore, case 1 means exponent of a is greater than exponent of b. So then what we do is simply add the term of this a to the result polynomial. So for that, you just create a new temporary node. P is equal to polyptr mlog size of struct polynode. This will create a temporary node and add the information of coefficient exponent to the p. P coefficient is equal to a coefficient. P exponent is equal to a exponent. Why? The reason is we are going to add the term pointed by capital A. So that is why I'm taking a coefficient and a exponent and putting it inside P. Okay, and then P next is equal to null. So once this new node is created, simply move the pointer A to the next node because that node is added to the result node. Okay, A is equal to A next, and then you need to add this P properly into the result node. So if result is equal to null, that means no term is added into the result node. So this P becomes the first node. Therefore, result is equal to P. Otherwise, attach this term at the end of the existing result. Therefore, what we need to is uh, attach term, calling the function attach term, and send the information of p coefficient, p exponent, and ampersand result. What is this ampersand result? Result is the polynomial that we are building, and ampersand result ensures that any updation made to this result polynomial is reflected back. Okay, so attach term is also an user defined function which we define like this. It takes the coefficient and exponent and a pointer to the result polynomial, and then it simply adds the information of coefficient exponent into a temporary node TMP and moves to the end of the list by using while ptr next not equal to null, ptr is equal to ptr next, and at the end it adds the TMP. Okay, this is just inserting at the end. Okay, so attach term function works like an insert at the end. Okay, so this means that insert at end. So P will be inserted at the end of this result polynomial. So that is how case 1 is handled. What is that case 1? If exponent of capital A is greater than exponent of capital B. And case 0 is if the exponent of polynomial A is equal to exponent of polynomial B. Then what we do is we add up the coefficients, and then P exponent is equal to A exponent. Exponent is going to be same. Either you can use A exponent or B exponent. Any of them is okay. And then because both the coefficients are added, simply move the pointer A forward and pointer B forward. If result is equal to null, then result is equal to P. That means there are no nodes. Then simply make this pointer P, node P as the first node. Otherwise, attach this term to the end of the result by using the function attach term. And the third case is case -1. Case -1 means the exponent of A is less than exponent of B. Therefore, we need to add the information of P into the node P. So P coefficient is equal to B coefficient, P exponent is equal to B exponent, P next is equal to null. And move the pointer in B forward. So whatever information you take from the polynomial, you simply move the pointer forward at that position. Okay, so if result is equal to null, then result is equal to P. That means if there are no nodes in the polynomial, then P becomes the first node. Otherwise, attach this term at the end of the result polynomial. Okay, so with this we handle all the terms. When this loop fails, this loop is iterating while a not equal to null and b not equal to null. That means if both the polynomials have terms, so if a has no terms to add, then this will fail. Or b has no terms to add, then this will fail. So either of this fail, then while loop stops. That means if a is equal to null, it means a is completed, but there may be some nodes in b. If b is completed, it means there may be some nodes in A. So that is what we are checking here. While A not equal to null, it means there are some nodes in A. Maybe B is completed. Okay, so because A has some nodes to be added, add all the remaining nodes from A into the result polynomial. Okay, so attach term of A coefficient comma A exponent comma ampersand result and move forward. So simply add all the remaining terms into the result polynomial if a not equal to null. Okay, and if this is true, that means while b not equal to null, that means a is completed and b has some terms to be added. So simply call the function attach term and insert this node at the end of result polynomial and move forward. Okay, so these two loops ensures that the remaining terms from either a or b are properly added to the result polynomial. And finally, we simply return the result polynomial, which contains the addition of two polynomials. So for this entire process, what you need to remember is uh, we assumed that while writing these functions, we assumed that the polynomial terms are ordered in decreasing order of exponents. So it is compulsory to understand that point. The polynomials are given in the decreasing order of their exponents. That means 3x power 5 plus 2x plus 1. So always the exponent terms must be decreasing. So that is the order we considered. Otherwise, these functions will not work. Okay. And I already explained these two functions. And finally, write this main function. Use a poly pointer to create a poly, b poly, and c. And enter the first polynomial and call the create poly, uh, which returns the first poly. This function will ask the user to enter the terms of the first polynomial and returns the corresponding polynomial, which is kept inside a poly. And immediately I am displaying it. And b poly is equal to create poly for creating the second polynomial, displaying it. And finally, I'm calling the function add to polynomial and sending these to ampersand a poly comma ampersand b poly, and the result will be returned into C. And I am displaying that C. Okay, so this is how you can add up any given two polynomials, right? And now, based on the information that we finished now, so I'm giving you a task to implement the polynomial multiplication. So I hope you know how to perform multiplication operation on polynomials, and try to write the function for multiplying the polynomials in your own. Uh, Take this code as a reference, the addition of two polynomials as a reference, and you try to implement this polynomial multiplication. Okay, so that's all for today. Uh, with this, we have completed the second unit part, linked list, and when we come back, we will discuss about the third unit. Okay, thank you all.